Awesome. Hey, everybody. We are excited. We have, camera, come on, camera, follow me. Camera's like, no, I don't want to follow you today. Come on. No, it doesn't want to follow me. All right. No. There we go. All right. All right. Hopefully that works. How's everybody doing today?
Great, good.
Let's get this party started because we have some photos and different things to do today. Tired?
Yeah.
Can you click it for me? I don't think
Yeah, it's there. I think it restarted everything and
Oh, okay, it takes a second.
yeah.
Picture here.
Okay.
And now it's working.
Perfect. All right. All right. So let's start off with tell me something good. Let's start with something positive. Or if you want to talk about something that you failed at, because we can all learn from that and you can't fail without success. So anything happened this week that is interesting to talk about? Something positive, something good? Anybody? Yes, sir. What do you got?
This morning, they said the inflation is not that bad, so that's a good indication that they may hopefully. start right.
When is
bring
the
down-
next time? Where's my lender? I lost my lender. Gotta put a bell on that guy. There he is. So, we're just talking about the inflation rate that they mentioned today, that it's not that bad, which is a very interesting term to use. We haven't gotten to your slide yet, but I just want to ask you, like, when's the next time that they are due to make a decision on if they're gonna raise or lower the rate? You know?
They haven't announced it, but the rates did start going down
did?
because of that indication and the fact that they mentioned that. So they didn't raise them. They said they were not gonna raise them.
Uh-huh.
But we were expecting for them to lower it.
Uh-huh.
So they stood the same, but then they started going up the last 2-3 weeks. They went up like really high and they just started going down again. So today is the lowest that I've seen it in about 2 weeks.
What's it at right now?
6.75.
6.75. Are they gonna maybe make a decision to raise or lower them in June?
That's what we're anticipating,
Okay.
June, like for the summer,
Is
But
there a
even-
specific date that they do, or it's just random?
just like.
Really? That's convenient. Okay. Gotta love the government. It's good stuff. So that is positive though, because, you know, it kind of kicks people off of the fence a little bit there when people talk about, you know, the rates moving around a little bit. There's a lot of conversation online talking about how, date the rate, marry the house. And I don't know if that's turning out well for a lot of people. But I talked about this during coaching, so if you guys weren't during coaching, and I know that we have some people on Zoom that were not here during coaching, is that I saw two graphs over this last week, and the two graphs went something like this, and I don't know if you can see me on Zoom, but the graphs went like this. Whoa, all right, there we go. Basically the same graph. And the thing about the graphs is this was home prices. This is rents. So when people talk about home prices and rent and all that stuff, the thing I like to say is that, first of all, they're not going down, either one of them. They're rarely will you see rents fluctuate and drop a little bit. That's more of a specific area type of thing. But in general, everything has been rising. And if you're looking for a home to be a good deal, that good deal that you're looking for is today, right now. Because if you buy something today, even if it's overpriced, it's going to end up growing because there's such a lack of inventory. It's almost impossible to not. So like if you can buy a house today and it appraises, first of all, that means it's not overpriced. And second of all, as the days move on, it will grow in value. So I just find that's interesting, and it'll be fun to see, like, if that stimulates things going into the summer. What I'd like to do is I'd like to see them play with the rates and drop the rate as we go into fall. That would be good, because that's usually when the whole wave of like activity drops a little bit, right? I've never seen them do that though, to stimulate it going into the fourth quarter, but that was a good observation. Anybody else, something good or something positive? Yes, sir, what do you got?
I have a new listing since last week.
New listing, congratulations. Tell me about it.
This was from a past crime, like 8 years ago,
Yep,
but, we were trying to sell it. He waited 90 days to sell it, but it's not gonna sell in 90 days because it's on, raw land.
yep.
But now, a lot of stuff has changed and I went there back once again and door knocked at his house and he answered and we started talking and.
There you go.
Where's my?
You got, what do you credit the connection to be?
Oh, probably because I worked with him before.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
So it's just the relationship.
the relationship.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that today a little bit. Man, you came in on today, Jerry, and like, man, last week was packed and I don't know, like everybody's stuck in traffic today.
More one-on-one attention.
There we go. Deep relationships, I love it. All right.
Usually good.
Anybody else before we move on? Something good to talk about? Going once? Yes,
I
ma'am. What do you got?
pay attention, I need you.
Focus, people, focus, over there, focus.
I
Throw
heard
erasers at you.
that,
Sorry.
as far as loan assumptions, that the VA has been required for a 45-day time limit on the VA assumptions. Do you know anything about that?
Not about the limit that they're giving.
Okay, so that's some good news if it's true. It was from a reliable source. So when you're looking to do assumptions, and everybody should be looking at that, and again, I know it's something different and you haven't done it before, but if there is a VA, FH, or even conventional for that matter, those typically take 3 to 4 months. But I've heard, and I'll double check this from the source, but 45-day time limit or turnaround for the VA assumption, which is awesome, because normally it would be a lot longer. So something to look into. I know that really didn't affect your income, but it's,
No, right now, I've gotten asked quite a bit about assumption loans
Okay.
because, they're going to the seller and said, hey, you know what? Can I take over the payment or the seller's offering them, hey, I have a 2.5% rate.
right,
Why don't you give me 100,000 and I'll let you assume the loan?
Hmm.
So they're kind of wiping out the realtor in that situation. In some situations, because they're doing it for sale by owner, but if there's a realtor involved, there's a realtor involved, great. But the assumption is with the present lender, not with a new lender. So when they come to me as a new lender, I'm like, go to the one that has the loan right now.
yeah, but you're gonna come into play for the second, right? Well, because there's gonna be a difference. You've got $1 million sales price and you've got $500,000 on an assumable 3%.
We wouldn't be able to do a second. It's actually gonna be the seller either carrying the second or they're getting paid upfront.
So who are we using for seconds then if they've got to get a second mortgage?
We wouldn't be able to come in on second on a purchase. And no lender will probably come in on a second on a purchase.
Really?
All right, I wanna
Okay.
get moving
The
on.
seller can carry.
We can talk about this a little bit later. I wanna get this party started here. So I was actually moving it forward, so.
Oh, I was like,
Sorry, we'll talk after.
All right, so we want to welcome to the office Sade Smith. So she just joined us, so welcome Sade. She's new to the office, so be nice to her. She's learning and she wants to meet all of you. She's super excited. She just got her license and she is ready to go. Happy birthday to Leslie Epstein on 5/21. Happy birthday, Leslie. Can I see
Okay.
Leslie? Make sure she says happy birthday.
before the next slide, this was for Joe and he's not here, but.
I think Joe's on Zoom though.
Okay.
What is this? Joe, happy birthday, Joe Sullivan. The king.
Thank you so much.
There he is. Look at that. It couldn't have been more on cue. Look at that. You got a crown and everything.
I have to make it here. The king.
So what are you gonna be, like 45?
It's 45, I'm about 28.
There we go. There we go. It's on Zoom too, that's
Oh, he
funny.
definitely needs an updated, picture.
There we go. Broker moment, Rich Masani, is Rich on? Rich is not on. Rich is available. Rich at Rich Pisani at kw.com. He is pretty responsive, so you need some help from him. Tammy. Turn your Zoom off, Joe.
Please.
Can somebody give him tech
Joe likes to
support?
make an entrance.
Joe needs tech support.
See a lot of attention this morning, Joe.
Tammy, productivity coach, what do you got for us today?
Next Wednesday, after the, office meeting, Joe and I are going to be holding a door knocking class, so you'll be getting notification on that. Basically, a lot of agents here are coming to us, asking them about door knocking, so we're gonna be covering, everything from what to say, what areas, how to be safe, what is the best opportunity for when you're going door knocking. What else, Joe? What else, Joe? Oh, what to hand out.
What to take, yeah, you mentioned most, and what to say, what not
Okay,
to say.
I
how to
gave,
move, all that.
I gave Sandy a detailed description, of what we're doing, so I got that. And then for those of you that are currently writing contracts, you will see in, your listing contract and also on the first contract, there's a new form called the Buyer's Compensation Advisory. You heard about this? It's coming in, May, it's just, for car. And it will be included, so when you go to take a listing, again, it's just a disclosure, it's a one-page disclosure. Basically, it's just reminding you to have that agency conversation and how agents get paid, the listing agent and the buyer's agent, it's all in that one-page form. It's called the BCA.
Yeah.
Just so, okay, that's it.
Awesome, very cool, thank you, Tammy. If you guys need coaching help or questions or help in anything in any of your transactions, contact Tammy, she is amazing. We have Goalie with Westwood Escrow, is she on? No, Goalie is busy running, I know she's working on closing a deal for us today, so I'd rather not talk to her, I'd rather she did that. But if you need her, that's her contact information, we can supply it to you after the meeting as well. We have Jerry Ferris in the flesh. Don't clap until he says something good.
Do I have to go up?
Well, go on, I mean.
Yeah.
Go over with your.
I do, I have to say, what am I gonna say? It's nice to see all these faces.
Go over with your.
Hi, guys, Jerry from Clearmark Title. I'm sorry, I've been on Zoom. I've been sick on the worst days. What we're seeing right now in the market is that the homes priced around 2, 3, they're moving quicker than they have been the last few months. And then the homes that are priced at 4 and 4.5 higher, they're sitting on the market just a little bit longer. Million,
Okay.
yes. So 2 million less.
What did you?
I'm sorry, yeah, $2 million and less. They're moving a lot more quickly. They're not staying on the market as long as they were. And we just did a little research. We found out that 23%, 24% of those are all cash buyers. But Rocket's got a program that makes you very competitive with all cash buyers. Do you want to plug it or do you?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll wait. And then, which I think is invaluable, so, we'll talk about that together. And then also, what we're talking about is collaborating together on helping you guys with AI technology and also with social media stuff, so I'll let Oscar kind of follow up with that, but, again, we're at that time of the year, we're halfway through the month, check where you're at, we call it the 15th protocol, it's usually that time of the month where we like where are we with our numbers, where are we with our goals. I still think that the deals are and the money are in your phone right now, but if you want to go beyond that, we've got resources to help you with your niche, whatever that is, like, in the last 12 months, there were 1,500 divorces. In the last 12 months, there were 17,000 deaths. But some people are specializing in that. And then if expires are your thing, we can help you with that too. There are 89 that were listed this morning between here, Riverside and OC, so we can help you with those as well. Yes.
I know you're talking about houses, what about land? You know anything?
I don't have much land information, but if you have a specific question, we can call the office and we can help you. We can help you pull that up for sure. Yeah.
The numbers that you gave are for the 3 counties?
Yeah, so LA, Riverside and OC, like that's basically the number. So we get the expired listings and cancellations every day. Today we're about 89 on those, but then the affidavit of death, that's a specialty. I see a lot of agents are kind of focusing on that. And we're having conversations with divorce attorneys as to how to get on the preferred vendor list and also what to say when somebody's going through that, because it's kind of a sensitive transition. So we're here to help you and do that. So thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. You wanna report how many car accidents there were?
How about this? I will say on a good note, I will say on a good note, okay, you're right, just that's so sad. Because people ask me, they feel like that's the low hanging fruit, like they keep coming to me like, what is that? I will say that I am proud to say that it's only the 14th or 15th. In the last month with the teams and the people we're working with this data, we have 27 listing appointments that are brand new that came from the data and the research that we're working on together. So just reach out to Rocket, Clearmark, whoever your vendors are, to help you just get the vendors and the talking points that you might need when you actually go door knocking or you get somebody on the phone. So we're here to help. So yes, that's a more of a positive thing.
Thank you.
I had my mother-in-law in town all week, so I feel maybe that's what's my, I've been stressed out.
So that's a very interesting thing he said, and I wanna iterate this, is that people feel that the low hanging fruit is in the distressed property era, when somebody's going through a death, somebody's going through an NOD, somebody's going through a divorce. That is just the natural way because it's distressed, like they have to move quickly. But let me tell you this, I'm gonna say that is not necessarily where the low hanging fruit is. There's fruit there, absolutely, but the low hanging fruit is in the relationships that you already have. Now, there's death, divorce, NOD, there's all that stuff happening with the people you already know, you just don't know it. You end up figuring it out after you have conversations with people and getting into deep relationships. They're not gonna share that stuff with you unless you have a deep relationship with them. We've had people that we're close with that have come to us and said, hey, we're having trouble in our marriage, somebody just passed away or this or that. But the majority of people don't know what's going on. And we know that because of our connection with that person. So I'm not gonna say, don't call these people, don't try to get leads from that, but go to your people first. That's gonna be the low hanging fruit. Does that make sense? So, thank you, Jerry. That was pretty awesome. So what do we have here? We have Oscar with Rocket Mortgage.
All right. Let's do this. Okay, who wants to get a low rate today? Anybody?
Everybody.
Everybody? All right, talk to your agent. How low can it go? Well, Jerry alluded to talk about something that we're gonna be collaborating together and helping out. But I do wanna go reference back and I wanna see if you guys listen to your fearless leader on a regular basis. He talks about 4 things that we all need to do. Can we get some participation and see if you guys remember what he's always telling us to do? 4 things.
Lead generation.
Lead generation is one of them.
Post on social media.
Social media is another one. You can't answer all of them.
Make those goals.
Huh? Which other one?
Call your COI. Follow up, action.
CRM. Now, there's a last one. What do we sometimes forget to do?
Sure. Follow up.
Follow up. Did we get it correct?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
A hand of applause. Now, of course, social media is one of the easiest and free type of marketing. But many of us may fail to do it simply because we don't know how, we're a little too old, we're old school. Of course, that is not true because I know older people that are on social media. Donald Trump is on social media. Okay, and he gets a lot of responses. So it just depends on how you do it. So we're gonna start a basic training, an intermediate, and hopefully move up. Jerry and I are gonna work. Have you guys seen his social media? Look him up. Look him up. He does some incredible content. And actually that attracted me more to him than his looks. In fact, he does quite a bit and he.
That's what the Bachelorette said too.
They just announced the Golden Bachelorette that's coming in.
And he actually introduced me to a couple of apps that I started using, by the way, and they're incredible. They're incredible. I do want to just share with you a little bit about what we've been doing here, and of course, it's going to be real quick. I've been here for several months, and I've been developing relationships. But many of you have called me and used our services. Alper right now, I want to kind of highlight him. He sent me about 5 or 6 different people. We tried. This last one stuck. Last night, he sent me a deal. Down phone, they're approved, they're making an offer today, so.
Great.
We're really, really quick in what we do, we wanna continue to support you, try us out, we're very fast, and we have very, very good rates. So I will share with you more about loans and programs after the meeting, because I don't want to take too much of Frank's time. If you guys want to talk about that program that we have that helps you kind of make offers like cash offers, please do see me after the meeting. Okay, thank you very much. You guys are great. Oh, who came ready for pictures today? Come on, raise your hand.
Hold them
You
in.
too, you need a new one? You need a new one, Joe?
I'm not sure you're good looking at it.
It's your birthday. All right, well, at 11 o'clock, they're gonna be here, and we'll go ahead and have some free photo shots, so that maybe you could change your picture in your business card, or you could change it on your social media handle, okay? Thank you very much for the
Awesome.
opportunity.
All right. What we got next? We got, events group property inspections with Mary Kay. Is she on by any chance? Nope. All right, so if you need property inspections, she is probably one of the best companies that I have dealt with. She has other services. That's the QR code, and we also have her contact information up at the front if you need it. NHD, Kevin Polizzi, he was here last week, which was cool to see him in person. Oh, I thought he had a class. Did he already do his class?
Yeah, he's doing.
Okay, so. And then we have, so I'm gonna talk today about resources in the office, and I was gonna actually move this slide. But I'm gonna go over resources in the office that you have to help you get business. This is one of them. So this is the, what we meet on every Monday and Friday to go over coaching, to go over strategies, to go over certain things that is gonna help you get business very quickly. And all I need you to do is execute. And if you have questions, if you need help, this is where you show up to get it. Today, professional headshot day. So make sure you thank Oscar for his collaboration to put this together. Excited about that. Thursday. So I put together over the 21 years that I've been doing real estate, I put together a follow-up program. So Keller Williams, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, has a follow-up program called the 33 Touch. And I think they've revised it to be a 36 Touch. Well, the one thing I've realized, so first of all, LA is different than every place else in the United States when it comes to real estate, when it comes to business. Speed of business is very, very fast here compared to other places. And I believe from my experience that your follow-up here has to be more frequent and more aggressive than anything else that you do. So what I've done is I've put together a 40+ touch program. My team uses a 65+ touch program. And so what I do is in this is I go over every touch, why we do it, how we do it, and how you should do it. So this is part of my 3-step program on how to get you to 6 figures very quickly, either your first 6 figures or your next 6 figures. So step 1 is your foundation, your online presence, your website, your database, all of that stuff. Step 2 is lead generation, and step 3 is just follow up. So you can do well in real estate with any 3 of those independently by themselves, but if you really want a solid business, all 3 have to work in unison. But the one that is probably the most important is follow up. I know agents that are not online. I know agents that don't have a really good website. I know agents that don't have websites at all that make 6 figures. I know agents that don't really do a lot of lead generation that still make 6 figures, but all those agents that don't have those things, they have follow up. So I'm gonna go over literally step by step by step, and then I'm gonna also provide a PDF for you of the follow-up program. And I'm going to raffle off a $100 Amazon gift card for someone in the audience. I need you to bring a business card so we can have a business card to choose from. And I'm going to hand you an Amazon gift card for whoever wins at the end. So I want to make sure everybody shows up. This will change your business if you follow. Map to Success, Tammy was talking about this. Joe and Tammy, this is gonna be on Wednesday, May 22nd, 11 to 12. I'm excited about this. This is really, really important. And Joe has been a master of this, and Tammy's been doing real estate and has door knocked for a very long time. So if you want to get your business going, this is a fantastic class. Education Committee meeting with Tracy Toffey, May 24th. Tracy, did you want to talk about this? I think she's on, but I know she might be a little bit busy. All right, so this,
Oh, go
hey
ahead.
there. Hey there.
Hi.
You wanna tell us about your education class?
Yeah, it's for, it's welcome to all agents and vendors. If there's something that you want to learn at our office, this is the opportunity to speak up and say, hey, I'd really like to learn about XYZ. And we try to create the class or find someone that is an expert in that to teach the class. It's also open to vendors that want to specifically teach a class and get into the schedule for June.
All right, thank you so much, Tracy. Friday, May 24th, 10 a.m. Listen, this class is probably the most efficient class that we have. It happens really fast. If everybody's on at 10 o'clock, we knock it out. We've knocked it out in like 15 minutes. So if you're running late and you're not gonna make it and you show up at 10:20 and nobody's there, that's because we already knocked it out. So make sure you're there on time. And I love that class. It's really cool because it gives me all the ideas that everybody has in the office. All right, new listings. What do we have here? We have Sona Gallatin, new to the office on Fairview in Lomita for 1.375. Sona again in Canyon Country for 735,000. Donati Land in Glendale, 495,000. Congratulations. Ruth Landa Verde, San Juan Capistrano, $550,000. Congratulations to Ruth. We have closings, and these are escrows too, right? Escrows opening, we have Tracy Toffey on Kalamali in Woodland Hills. Congratulations, Tracy. Tracy, do you want to tell us how you got this deal and how you got it into escrow? Do you have a second?
Yeah, it was a referral from another Keller Williams agent. And we got it into escrow pretty much by the grace of God.
How many offers did you have on it?
3.
3. How many people passed on this property?
Way more than 3.
Why was that?
The house needs a lot of work. It did not show well. The seller is a hoarder. And it was really hard to walk around. Also, it's up in the hills, so it's very, very narrow streets, nowhere to park. It has tons of potential, but it was just a little, it was past that scary point.
It was.
Yeah.
And the seller kept saying, Zillow says, my house is worth 1.3. Zillow says this and that. And all up until he accepted the offer, he kept telling us about Zillow. And I jumped in, like he texted Tracy and I at the same time, and I didn't even ask Tracy, I just jumped in and I was like, listen, Zillow gives you a Zestimate that is not accurate. That's why it's called a Zestimate. Because it's not a real estimation of what your value is. And it's like, you have to tell people, because everybody's gonna go to Zillow, but that's the reason it's called a Zestimate. Because they can't call it anything, because it's so off. Do they get it right sometimes? Absolutely. Do they get it wrong most of the time? Absolutely, because Zillow can't see inside the house. And if I can show you, like if you ever watch one episode of Hoarders, that's this house, 100%. Every room too, like every room. We had 3 legit major investors. I would say somebody's name here, you probably know who he is. Just look at it, the location, the price, send them a few pictures. They're like, we're good. Thank you. Have a nice day. But we did, Tracy got it into escrow at list price fairly quickly. And now I think we have some extra challenges that I'm gonna have to talk to her about after we get off the team meeting that I'm not aware of. But congratulations, Tracy. That's awesome. Patty Lopez on 94th Street, Inglewood, 1.129. And then Tracy again on Bethany in Burbank, 1.499. Tracy, do you want to tell us about Bethany?
It was a referral from someone in our database, and we found them a home off market, got that into escrow, and then they did a bridge loan, and we got their primary residence on Bethany into escrow.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so what we have here, we have Alpha and Joe, 21st Street for 3,900.
Yeah.
Sphere of influence?
Yep.
Okay, congratulations. Tracy Toffey on Tarquin, Silmar, 785,000. That's actually going to be closing, supposed to be closing on Friday. And we talked about that one in the past, and we have Sandra Kilglass for 439,000 on 92nd Street. So congratulations to everybody there. All right, market update. I want to talk to you guys about resources for Keller Williams. I mean, everybody here wants to do business, right? We want to sell houses, we want to make a bunch of money, right? It's May, Christmas is coming, I have expensive tastes, just so you guys know, like, my shirts are large, my shoe size is 10, like, let's talk about it. But there's a lot of resources and a lot of things that we have with Keller Williams that you will not find at any other company ever. But what I find is that us as a whole, we're not utilizing the resources that we have to their full potential or even a little bit. So I want to go over some of the resources we have that are super beneficial to you and that can help you get business. The first one, which is to me the most important one, because I bet you I could grab somebody in the audience right now, look at your command, and you have 0 people uploaded or a very small number uploaded to your database. That is the place where your contacts should live in your database, and you should follow up with them consistently. So the resource that we have, if you go to kwconnect.com, you're going to have a playbook. You're going to have a whole bunch of playbooks. One of the playbooks is called contacts. So if you're like, Frank, I don't know what to do with contacts, go to the playbook, read every line of that playbook, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do with your contacts. There's a way to upload your contacts from your smartphone to command by pushing just a few buttons. It's really not super difficult. Most of you, if you get your contacts into your database and you just talk to them more than you're talking to them now, you are going to get business. Now I'm going to give you a super secret, super agent tip that most people don't understand, and I hope it makes sense once I explain it. We all are afraid to talk to our database because we don't want to sell them anything, because nobody wants to be sold, right? Like if you called your best friend and you're like, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? You led the conversation that way every time, they'd probably just send you the voice. So if you call your database once a quarter, which is 4 times a year, I'm going to tell you, I think that's not enough, because that's very salesy when you call your people 4 times a year. They know you're a real estate agent. And if you call them only that much, to just kind of check on them to see if they want to buy or sell, it's going to be a very salesy position that you're coming from. But if you talk to them every month and even more frequently than that, and you're consistent and you're calling them to see how they're doing, checking in, are you okay? What's going on? How's your kids? How is school? How is work? How is marriage? How is everything? You're going to come from a point of caring and not selling. And then when they are ready to sell, they're going to contact you. And I can just tell you right now, from just life happening around me, like things happen fast. Like I had a real estate agent friend that I've known since before I was in real estate. So over 25 years, I've probably known this person. I just got a message, her husband passed away. Freaked me out. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I didn't even know that. And like life happens quickly. People lose jobs. I have a friend right now that's transitioning from one job to another job, and it's a pretty major decision. And you only know these things if you have frequent and aggressive communication with them. And that's, you take your contacts, you put them in your database, and you call them and you sprinkle them with different things, way more than you probably feel comfortable with. So I want to take questions. You guys have questions about that, let me know. But the contacts playbook is probably, I'd say, your go-to playbook, especially if you're just starting out, or if you are not doing business into 6 figures. If you're not making 100 grand, you start with this playbook. Now, wouldn't it be cool if there were like a whole bunch of other playbooks that you guys could use? Like, what if there was a playbook for AI for real estate agents? Wouldn't that be cool? There is. There's an artificial intelligence real estate agents playbook in kwconnect.com. There's a newsletter playbook. So when I go over my 65 touch program on Thursday, one of the things that we send out is a newsletter. And it's very specific the way the newsletter is put together and the way it's sent out. We're not giving like Mary's apple pie recipe, right? That's what TikTok's for. If you want a recipe, you go to TikTok, they'll figure it out. But there's certain things and certain value that you put in your newsletter and you send it out not once a month, you send it out at least twice a month. If you send it out once a month, you're gonna get a super huge unsubscribe rate. The third one is the thing that all new agents want to do. Everybody wants to come in and do open houses, right? The problem is a lot of us don't know how to do open houses. If somebody walks in, what do you say? What do you do? How do you talk to them? How do you interact with people? We have an open house playbook. And the last one is probably the last, or it's probably as equal important as all of these, but it's the social media playbook. I know there's a lot of people here that are not super strong on social media. They're not super excited about social media. They're like, social media is not my thing. I get that, and that's fine. Social media doesn't have to be your thing. But you are the CEO of your company with whatever your company is called. So my company is called Top Key Bernardo Real Estate. I'm co-CEO with my wife. Not taking 100% credit for that. She does most of the work. And the thing is that we do our social media different because we run our company. So if I put you in charge of a multi-million-dollar company, would you be like, well, the company's not going to do social media because I don't like it. I'm not excited about it. So the company's not going to do it. Would you do that? Most people would not do that. Most people wouldn't be CEO if they did that. Your company has to have social media presence. If you don't want to do it personally, and I'll tell you one person in the office that actually is not a big fan of social media, but she's doing a really good job on a listing that she has is Parnian. So Parnian is not blowing up social media, but she's putting out TikTok videos. Like I was on TikTok and I'm like, Parnian? Like Parnian was on TikTok. Like I did not expect that. And she's doing videos and she's not showing her face. She's walking around showing pictures of the house because honestly, I mean, let's be honest, our contacts don't want to see our face. They see our face all the time. They want to see the properties. They want to see what's going on out there. So these are 4 of the playbooks, and then there's a contacts playbook. These are all available for free at kwconnect.com. If you read one of them, all of them, and start implementing the things that they have in there, a lot of the top major agents put this together and it works. The other thing is that, does anybody listen to podcasts in here? Nobody listens to podcasts? Me and Ella, you guys have to drive here, it's like an hour. Like, come on, like I listen to podcasts all the time. So I have about, I'd say 5 or 6 podcasts that I listen to every day, because when I drive in, it's an hour and a half typically for me to come to work. And then another hour and a half to go home. So I'm on the phone making phone calls. I am listening to audiobooks. I am listening to podcasts. So this year, Keller Williams came out with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast that is hosted by Jason Abrams.
I love that podcast. It's one of my favorites.
It is by far one of my favorite podcasts of all time. Like literally, there is not one bad episode. And what they do is they pull a top agent from the company and they interview them. You just have a conversation with them, ask them questions. And then if you subscribe to the podcast, after the podcast is over, Jason sends you the notes of the podcast, so you don't have to take notes. They'll email the notes to you. And I'm going to tell you, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I have my own podcast. This is by far the best podcast that I've listened to for real estate. So I would recommend, and it's not super long. I cannot stand a podcast that's like an hour and a half long. Like who has that? I have time. Like who has time to do that? It's about max 50 minutes. Some of them are 35, 45, but it's super valuable information.
Yeah, he moves really quickly.
Yeah, yes.
When do you sign up?
So this is on Apple Podcasts, this is on Spotify, this is any place you can find a podcast. So most of us have iPhones. If you don't have an iPhone, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But if you just search Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast and then click on it, subscribe to it, and you'll be able to get it. It comes out every Monday morning, a new one. So once a week, it's really super valuable. I cannot emphasize this. If you want to be inspired, if you want to learn strategies, if you want to find out how people like failed and like lost everything and then brought it all back and what they did, it's just really, really great information.
What is it called?
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast. Yeah, and I think they went from zero, because, you know, their first podcast started out at zero, to the number one podcast in their space. So it's really good. I cannot speak enough about it. And this is the Keller Williams Referral Network. Everybody has it. It's in Command. If you click on your dashboard on Command, on the left-hand side, there's a little tab, looks like a teardrop. It's referrals. You click on that, and then it gives you a map of the United States. When you zoom in, it brings up all of the market centers in the area that you zoom in, and then it brings up all the agents that are in that area. So if you have a referral, or if you need a referral, you can go there and you can find an agent. So I will tell you right now that you all have people that know people somewhere else in the United States. If you're like, I don't know anybody that lives out, well, you know somebody that knows somebody. And the thing is that Tracy and I get business from other agents from other places all the time. As close as Tehachapi, the $900,000 property we were talking about, that was from the number one agent in the Bakersfield office in Tehachapi. And we have a strong relationship with her, so when she had something, she reached out to us because she got this dude into escrow, and now he needs to sell his house. Yes,
Towards that, the referral thing going on. Something, because I have a referral even to a different state
yep,
for a different person, they wanna buy something there, so I was looking for like a commercial small place for someone.
yep.
And they returned me and they gave me a whole different contract. Than the contract in there. Do I follow that contract or follow their own contract?
So I would do both. I would follow the contract they give you, because the contract in writing is the one that is really super important. This is online. This helps you track your referral. So you can put the terms of the contract that you sign there into that. That's what I would do, because when you sign a contract for somebody in another state, we have to abide by that, because every state's gonna be a little different, right? So that's what you do that, and then just use that to track it. I mean, you don't need to track it here at all, but that's the most important part, is the one you have. But I think one of the most underutilized tools in real estate is agent to agent referrals. I mean, how many of us have sold a house and the person moved out of state and we don't know what happened to them? Like, it's happened to us. We had a family member that was looking around here. We're like, hey, if you move out of state, like, we can help you, like, let us know, like, we have connections, blah, blah, blah. They moved out of state, never told us, and used somebody else that never told us. It happens. Nobody's perfect. But if you have a relationship with, and I'll tell you, the relationships to have are the relationships with the top agents that do the most amount of units, not volume, units. Because in other areas outside of Los Angeles, people do more units than us. And when you're dealing with an agent that does a lot of units, that means they have a lot of relationships, and the chance of them knowing somebody either moving to or moving from Los Angeles is really high. And this happened to us about 2 years ago. I got a call from an agent from Denver. The agent from Denver called us and said, hey, I have a couple that lives in your area that came up to Denver to look for houses, and I'm gonna take them shopping, but they have to sell their house first. So I want to give you a referral for a listing in your area. I was like, what? That doesn't usually happen. We met with them. We were in competition with 4 different agents. We ended up winning. We got it listed. They went up to Denver, did not like what they saw, came back, went to Florida. I contacted somebody in Florida. I got them in front of somebody in Florida, and they ended up selling their house here, moving to Florida, and I paid somebody in Denver a referral. Now, if you think about that, it's a little wild. The person in Denver did nothing but call me up and say, hey, there's somebody thinking about selling. And I should have known it's in my area. But it's just a weird, but the referral part is just super low hanging fruit. And it's just like you're gonna keep relationships with your people and your contacts, you're gonna keep agent relationships as well. Because agents in other areas will have business for you. And I will tell you this, not to wish ill will on anybody, there's gonna be a whole bunch of agents this year that are just not gonna do the business anymore. And if you keep in contact with them, you can be their agent of choice. Shaking your head, yes. And I'm telling you, like, by January of last year, 60,000 agents walked out of the business. And Tracy and I have done business with people who are licensed that are just not doing it anymore. And it's a weird thing to think of, but it happens. Every relationship matters. No relationship left behind. I don't know, I'm looking for a good tagline. But it's a super cool tool, and it's just about relationships. Every relationship matters in your business.
Can I piggyback on that real quick? Fran?
Yes,
When, as far as referrals, you guys want to make sure that your profiles are filled out. So many times, almost every agent that I've met with in this office, I'm like, go to realtor.com, what's your profile look like? No picture, no bio. Not good.
Yeah.
Go to your Keller Williams command, fill out your profile. You need help with your bio, go to ChatGPT. Tell them who you are. I'm this age, I'm with this company, blah, blah, blah. I'm skilled at this, and then they'll write you a beautiful bio. It takes like 60 seconds. So, included realtor.com that, and then on CAR as well. They also have a bio part for referrals, so make sure you guys. put those out.
every referral that we got is because the person in Keller Williams went and looked us up, looked up our bio, and they're like, oh, Tracy's Tracy's a ALC member, and Tracy's done this, and Tracy's done that. And so she filled out her bio, she filled out everything. And then when we found our agent to help us in Spain, we did the same thing. We found somebody that was a rock star agent in Spain. So if somebody goes to your bio and there's no photo and no info, why would they call you? This is the same with online presence. Like, have you searched yourself online? What does it say? Because that's what your people are doing. And like, you get to choose how you show up online in every aspect. So it's really, really super valuable that you put as much stuff out there as you can possibly do. Because like, we don't like to lead generate. We don't like to pick up the phone. We don't like, most agents don't. And what we do like is we like the phone to ring, and we like to pick up the phone and have a thing called a come list me, where people are like, hey, I'm thinking about moving, or I'm getting married, or I'm getting a new job and I have to move. Like, can you come list my house? We love those. That happens because people will go online and say, real estate agent for Westwood, real estate agent for Beverly Hills, and they'll find your name somewhere and they'll contact you and start asking you questions. If they ask you to go to WhatsApp, that's not real. Don't do that. But, right? Because we've all had that person, hey, let's go to WhatsApp. I always think it's Jerry messing with me, but
Sometimes.
That should be just a standard on the new agent orientation,
yeah, right.
right? It's let them know. They're just.
They're trying to get your
scammers,
data.
yeah.
So this is the thing. Everybody that does that online is either trying to get you to pay them money or they're trying to get your data. You should be trying to get everybody's data as well. All of your contacts data, put it in there, get other agents' data, use it as a referral. It's a super valuable tool. But it comes back to what I said before, is that every relationship matters. It doesn't matter if they're an agent or not. Questions, comments, thoughts?
On your profile picture too, be consistent, use the same picture on your social media, so people don't get confused. They go to your name and they're like, that's a different picture. So if you have a picture with your dog, then be consistent with it. It's really, really important with your marketing, that you don't confuse your audience.
So like your social media accounts, like your name should be the same on everything.
Yeah,
I had a team member that their name was different on everything that they had, and I tried to explain to them, like, don't do that. Because people aren't gonna know who you are. People aren't gonna understand. And if they think you're inconsistent with your own marketing, why would they think you're gonna be consistent with their marketing? So that's a good point. That's a good point. Any other thoughts, questions? Everybody, did you get their photos taken? I see people showing up in ways that I've never seen them show up before, like, you're looking snazzy. I'm like, do you guys dress up for me? Oh, no, you didn't. You dressed up for Oscar. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's go. Needs and wants, so we can wrap this up so everyone can get the photos going. Anybody, needs and wants, new things coming up?
So, I have.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I've come across a developer
Yep,
who's looking for A, B type of development, apartment building. So anything in the area, Westwood, Sherman Oaks, Encino, I guess anything that comes along. So he does that, and his dad does from Bel Air Palisades all the way up to Fairfax, all the way up to Playa Vista, houses, tear down and build up. So if you have something that's not on the market, something coming along, and he is he's a great buyer, so if the numbers work out, they buy, they close cash. Let me know.
Awesome, awesome. Get with her, if you have any of those type of people, anybody else, needs and wants? Yes,
Actually,
ma'am.
can I make a comment? Yeah, I mean, so, I'm just trying to invest more into the whole real estate thing.
Yeah.
Now, and recently I realized there's two people in my life that are like more motivated to buy properties for themselves. So they are pretty high income, young professionals in the thirties and forties, and they're looking for the first property. And I think I'm like in their circle of life who actually is real estate.
Yeah.
I'm just finding that out, and I think I need help from this office or whoever, like talk to you or whatever, like how to approach it going forward. And I also don't want them to be like just looking and not ever buy.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to like push them too hard, so like, how do I approach that? Going
So
forward?
first of all, I can get with Tammy. Tammy will be able to help you. She's the coach in the office and she'll be able to tell you exactly what to say and how to say it. And to
Okay.
put them into like a funnel to where, like, let's say they're not ready today, but if they're ready in a week, if they're ready in a month, like, what do you do step by step through there? Because you gotta figure out what their motivation is. And is there timing associated with that motivation? Like the guy in Woodland Hills, he had to sell his house really fast because he has something in escrow. He had 17 days to sell his house. Like, that's super motivating, right? So you just have to figure out everybody's buying or selling because of some form of motivation. Tammy can totally help you with that and basically get the ball rolling. Awesome. Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, I need a buyer or a developer to, for this lot, and then next week I'm gonna get a different lot too, for sale. And there is a lot that is adjoining to this lot.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna get that listing too. And, in Glendale, you need like 7,500 more square foot of lot to build one house. So one of the lots are around 6,100. And you can't build unless you buy both lots on the same strip. Yes.
Not gonna be called Glendale anymore, it's gonna be called Denai. We're changing the name of the city, she's buying all the land, like, we're just gonna have to name it after you. That's awesome though. But yeah, if you guys have a developer, anybody, contact Denai, he's coming into the Land King. He's starting to fresh it,
Perfect.
but, anybody else, needs and wants, before we have everything up and get our photos taken? Paparazzi, more paparazzi. Going once, going twice. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming, I appreciate it.
Can I have your attention before you guys walk out and leave me alone by myself? All right, so we are gonna be providing free headshots